Hey everyone, Tim Rosgany here with another wounded and wonderful video. We silly human beings have an amazing capacity to complicate things. Overthinking, overfeeling, overanalyzing. I'm certainly not immune to any of those tendencies. But today I'm going to try to boil things down to the most basic of basics. Human beings, like every other creature or thing in this vast universe, are made up of atoms. And atoms harbor incredible amounts of energy within them, a fact we have used to create nuclear power plants as well as nuclear weapons. So, at the most basic level, all matter is energy in various forms. We human beings just happen to be among the most complex and fascinating forms of energy in existence. We are drawn to energy, and we radiate energy. Think of the energy of a newborn baby, how it draws us in, almost magnetically. Think of how it feels to hold a newborn. The purity of its energy filling us up and bringing us a sense of peace and joy that is hard to rival. And think of the energy of a toddler, bursting with life, soaking everything in, so wonderfully open and receptive, so engaged with the world around them, finding joy in the smallest things, a puddle of mud, a simple weed, a passing insect. We look at them and smile, marveling at their energy and their innocence and their joy. And there may also be more than a touch of sadness as we look at them, because we know that we were them at one point, even if we can't remember it. We were once bursting with life, finding joy in the smallest things. If we're lucky, we may even hold some memories from that precious time in our childhoods. For far too many of us, however, we can't even remember ever being like that. When we look back at our childhoods, we can easily recall the sadness and pain and loneliness, but the joyful energy of childhood? Intellectually, in our heads, we know that we must have experienced it. In our hearts, though, we doubt we ever did. So what happened to us? The answer to that question is as unique and vast as the number of people on this planet. And it's also as universal, simple variations on a theme. Things happened to us in childhood that caused us to block off the portal through which energy flows out from us and flows into us. Call it the heart, if you like. Painful and scary things happened to us in childhood, things that we had no capacity whatsoever to understand or cope with. In the face of darkness and negative energy and pain, even brilliant and beautiful creatures such as ourselves, so full of light and life and energy, will do whatever it has to survive. Seeing that our light was in danger of being consumed by the darkness in which we were forced to exist, a wiser part of us did the only thing we could. We closed that energy portal. We closed that door as firmly as we would against a dangerous intruder. We blocked off the opening to our heart in order to protect the energy and light inside of us, to keep it from being extinguished. If we lived in a world that celebrated and honored the light and energy inside us all, we wouldn't have to close the door of our hearts. But we live in a world populated by wounded creatures, each of whom had to make that same awful choice to close that door so early in life. Inside itself, with the door closed, the little child felt safe. As safe as it could, anyway, given that it was still surrounded by so much negative energy. So it found a way to survive, like a wounded creature hiding in a cave, afraid to reveal itself, lest it be attacked once more. We kept our light alive by closing the door to our hearts, and in doing so, we also blocked the light of the world, of light itself, from getting in. As young children, we didn't understand the horrible choice we were forced to make. We didn't understand why we had to do that. We just knew we had to. And as long as the environment we were in was unsafe, we dared not unbar that door. We dared not take down the barrier we had constructed. Because we're infinitely adaptable creatures, we found a way to adapt to our self-imposed isolation. And if we ever dared to let our light shine at all, we were quickly reminded by our wounded caretakers that that was not a safe or smart thing to do. In response to every fresh wound we received, we fortified the barrier we had constructed around our heart. When, after long and sad years, we finally reached adulthood and could walk away from our wounded caretakers, we experienced a freedom of sorts. We strode forward with purpose and determination into the adult world, never looking back. Sadly, we didn't even realize that we were leaving the little child behind, locked in terrible safety behind the barrier it was forced to construct so many years ago. We didn't even realize that the very best part of us, the joyful energy and vitality that is our eternal birthright, was still locked away inside us, a little child waiting for someone to come and set them free, to tell them that it's safe to come out now, that it's safe to run and play and be joyful as they once were, before the darkness sent them into hiding. And with that, I invite you to look for my next video, where I will pick up the story from there. Until then, be at peace.